Hello, hello, hello. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. I hope all of you are doing good. Today we have a very interesting topic, so I'd like you to lean back, relax, and come along this journey with me. Today we're going to talk about two different kinds of relationships that women generally tend to get into. One being a karmic relationship and the other being dharmic relationships. And today we're going to discuss about the difference between these two types of relationships. These two types of distinctly different relationships. Now, before we go further, if you like my vibe, if you like such content, don't forget to smash that like button. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And I truly would appreciate any small support that I can get from you. It's absolutely free for you, right? You're not spending a penny to support my work by subscribing to it. And I would also deeply appreciate it if you like this content and if you find something of value, to share it with your friend or relative who you think might need to listen to this message or listen to contents like this. Okay, so now that we've got that out of the way, let's dive right in. Now, ladies, the word karma, all right, especially the word karma, might carry a lot of fatalistic, negative, scary meanings around it, but I want to let you know from the get-go that that is definitely not where I come from. That's not the kind of meanings I attach with the word karma. So in fact, I see it in a very positive light. I see it as a vibration that brings huge balance into our lives. So to me, no, karma is not negative, fatalistic, or scary, okay? Another thing that I want to get out of the way before we get in, ladies, is I need a promise from each and every one of you, all right? Especially if you think that you have manifested or you are currently in or you have been in your past in a karmic relationship, all right? Especially if you think that, I want you to not judge yourself harshly because of that. Okay, I do not want us, you know, and many of us women, including me, you know, deal with this thing on a day-to-day, moment by moment basis, right? I think as women, we are super self-critical. We are super judgmental about ourselves and negative, and we carry so much of doubts and insecurities, and you know, it's so harsh and hard on ourselves. So that, you know, so that is the promise I want from you, ladies. While you're coming on this journey with me, I need a promise from the get-go that you are not going to judge yourself negatively. You're not going to criticize yourself, feel shame or any kind of guilt, and judge yourself negatively in any light. All right, do I get that promise from you, ladies? Do I want to hear it. Are you promising me that you're not going to judge, criticize yourself negatively or feel guilt or shame or anything around you know, around what you've done or the choices you've made? All right, do I get that promise? I'm listening. Okay, I think I heard it. So thank you. I appreciate it. Okay, we're gonna hold ourselves with a lot of kindness, with a lot of empathy, with a lot of compassion, and you know, no matter even if you think that you are currently in a karmic relationship, we are still going to be our own best friends, our own cheerleaders, our own best supporters. All right, and all honesty, ladies, this is definitely not about right and wrong, good or bad, you know, good versus evil, this is right, this is wrong. No. Okay, definitely not. Right, so let's dive in. All right, And for this, you might actually want your notepad and a pen to make some notes if you want to. Right. Give me a moment. I kept my notes in another place. I gotta get it. Righto. Karmic relationships. Why do some women choose or manifest a karmic relationship in their lives? Okay. What is the purpose? There is a distinctly different purpose why your soul chooses a karmic relationship versus a dharmic relationship in your lives. Okay. So that is the first point we're going to talk about, and this is a point which is very conceptual, which is very bird's eye view. So even if it doesn't land, that's okay. Just sit back, lean back, relax, and come along this journey with me, ladies. It's okay. As time goes, as you listen to me, the pieces will fall into place and you will get the entire picture. So even in the beginning, if things don't make sense, if things don't land, that is totally okay. So why does a soul choose a karmic relationship? In a lot of cases, if there is a certain imbalance, the soul chooses this kind of a relationship to find its homeostasis, to find its balance again. If there's been something skewed, something unaligned, if there's been something off from your unique soul frequency, all right, from your unique soul aligned frequencies, if something is off, then your soul tends to attract, magnetize, and choose into such a relationship for it to find its balance again. Okay. Stay with me, ladies. Stay with me. Even if it doesn't land, like I mentioned, that's totally fine. Lean back, relax, and come along this journey with me. All right. Another thing that I want to say, my work, my content, this is not about information and, you know, dumping you with facts and figures and information and structured, organized kind of presentation. No, that is not what this is about. Though in my future courses, we will have such content, you know, masculine contents, as I say it. See, I'm more of a conversationalist. We are having a dialogue, and, you know, I speak in a slower pace. Now, all of these things, ladies, will help you embody the information, all right, the stuff that we are talking about. So this is a very feminine presentation, and in a lot of cases it is not for your conscious part of your being, it is for your subconscious part of your being. And for some of you who are coming into my world thinking that you want all the information and facts and figures, and why can't this woman speak faster, and why is she going round and round in circles, or I want to know the bottom line, give me the bottom line, what is the end goal, give it to me in a short sentence, right? You know what I'm talking about. Nothing wrong with it. I've been there myself, but that is not what I am about or what this content is about. But if you stick with me and come along this journey and be part of my world, trust me, you will find the shifts and the changes happening, all right, in a very subtle level. But when it starts happening, it will be permanent, okay? You would have shifted. Things would have changed in your life from a very, very embodied place to such an extent that nobody can take that away from you. Okay. So why do I repeat myself sometimes in my video? Because you might have heard retention means repetitions, right? So my presentations are all designed for embodiment more than knowledge, okay? So always when you hit on my video, you know, let it play in the background, grab your cup of tea or coffee, lean back, relax, doodle, do your thing while you keep listening to my voice on the background. So that is the best way to learn from me and from this channel, Okay, so yes, that was a digress. Let's get back. Karmic relationships. Your soul chooses a karmic relationship, chooses to experience a karmic relationship because there has been a split, there's been something off that took your soul into a different track outside of its aligned, real, true blue essence track. Okay, so it chooses a karmic relationship to find its way back to its alignment. So karmic relationship has an innate purpose of finding that balance for your soul. As opposed to the other end of the continuum, a dharmic relationship is when your soul wants to experience its true aligned self, its true essence, its true nature, its aligned nature. It wants to experience that through that relationship. So that is why when your soul feels off, something is hurt, wounded, something is off aligned, something has happened and it needs to find its balance back, there you go, boom, a karmic relationship is something that it will attract. When your soul wants to experience it as itself aligned, a dharmic relationship is what it chooses. Let's unpack that a little more. The shadow parts of yourself is what? Your unconscious, the parts of yourself that has been fragmented because of childhood trauma, childhood wounding, for instance, or any other form of trauma, and because of which a part of your soul has been fragmented or shoved into your subconscious. That part of yourself, the shadow parts of yourself, is what creates or chooses into a karmic relationship to find that balance. Stay with me here, all right? As we go on this journey deeper and deeper down the rabbit hole, you know, the pieces will fall in place for you. As opposed to a dharmic relationship is when your soul, your aligned soul, your highest self, okay, chooses that relationship to experience itself. Now, so your shadow parts of your psyche is what chooses a karmic relationship versus your higher self essence, or your true soul essence, your highest self is what chooses a dharmic relationship. Now, what do I mean by your real, true soul essence? Every consciousness, right? Everything has a true soul essence. For instance, if you take water, the element of water, that consciousness of water has its true soul essence is flexibility, fluidity, and flow. Would you agree with me? All right. Water, wherever you see it, right? River, lake, pond, ocean, one of its true soul essence is fluidity, flow, flexibility. So that is what I call a true soul essence of something. Let me give you another example. Sugar, for instance, all right? Its true soul essence is sweetness. When you eat sugar, that's the first thing about it, right? So that is, sweetness is one of the true soul essence of sugar. So each and every one of us, okay, our avatars might change, how we look might change, our personalities might change through time. We all go through different seasons of time, especially as women. However, there would be a true, real soul frequency of ourselves that we are born with, and that's never going to change. Okay, it might remain hidden for the longest time, but it'll be there, and that will never change. So that is what I call your true natural essence of your soul, is what chooses into this type of relationship. Okay? Now, your shadow parts of you is what chooses a karmic relationship. Let me give you some examples of that to make things a little simpler to understand. Let's say as a child, a little girl was let's say she was abandoned, okay, because the mom was busy, survival mode, the father was busy, survival mode, try to bring food to the table, so they were all caught up in their own lives, you know, their own dramas and what they were going through, that this little girl was left to her own and abandoned, and you know, emotionally abandoned, let's say, and she grows up, and she learns, of course, to not trust adults, because whenever as a child she went to an adult to have her needs met, they were never met because the adults were caught up in their own worlds, right? Let's say her emotional needs were never met. So she grows up thinking that her needs are not important, and even if she can't trust anybody to fulfill her needs. So as she grows older, and you know, I respect her soul for making such choices also, right? It's so beautiful when you think about how our psyches help us survive. So this little girl grows up not having any of her emotional needs met. Maybe her survival needs were met, and she learns not to trust people. So she learns to, she has this thing in her belief system that's formed that says, if you got to do something, you got to do it yourself, or in the end you can't trust anybody, or in the end there's nobody there who has your back. Girl, you got to do it yourself. You got to take care of things yourself. So those are some belief systems that might get into her psyche as she grows up. So let's say because of these things, she starts performing, you know, she's independent. She wants to become independent soon, right? So she need not trust or depend on anybody for financial reasons, or you know, whatever. So the first thing a soul like that might want to do is get independent, right? So she might start becoming an overachiever in school or college, and she might start doing part-time jobs. She might start the hustle and the grind, and she might, as a girl, she might step into her divine masculine energies to be able to take care of her own needs, right? Her survival, security, safety needs. So she might come up the corporate ladder, she might hustle, grind, whatnot. Okay, so that's the kind of person we're talking about here. And when it comes to relationships, because her soul has, you know, put or shoved under the carpet or put into her subconscious part of herself, her feminine essence side, the soft side of her, the trusting side of her, the vulnerable side of her, all right? Her open-heartedness, the nurturing side of her, because of her story, right? She had to put her feminine essence into the closet, bury it under the waters of her subconscious mind. And she had to step into her masculine energies more. Her feminine energies are in her shadow. And she's going ahead, living a great life, climbing up the corporate ladder, making that money, getting accolades, recognition, appreciation. She's experiencing freedom. She's experiencing independence. La-di-da-di-da, life is good. But internally, her soul, which is both her feminine essence and her masculine essence, feels a little bit off and split off and fragmented, because just one side of it, only the masculine side of it, is experiencing life, and the vulnerable, soft, open-hearted, trusting, loving, caring, sweet, kind, gentle side of her soul is not experiencing life, is completely shut off. So the soul, the whole soul of who she is, feels off. And to find that balance, she would attract a man, let's say, who is more on his feminine side. Okay? Who, let's say, has not finished education or is quite lazy. See, I don't want to put men down in any way. Everybody has their own journey. Everybody has their own processes. But just for the sake of an example, all right, stay with me here. Maybe someone who sits in front of the TV and playing video games all the time, sleeps, does not have his ducks in a row, you know, who's creating plans and executing them in their own mind, in his own mind, and nothing is taking traction, nothing is coming into fruition. His finances are a mess. He doesn't know where he is going in life. There's, you know, just a man who's primarily, let's say, operating from his feminine energies and lacks direction and purpose and, you know, clarity in his own life. Now this girl might subconsciously, without her own knowledge, might choose a man like that, because she is sort of, in her own way, outsourcing her feminine energies from this man, who is chill, cool, happy all the time, going with the flow, spontaneous, while she might be all hustle bustle, has a plan for the day, things to do, things scheduled, goals, you know, goals set for the month, the week, every day for the year, and la-di-da-di-da, and she's all in her go alpha energies, with her soul not experiencing its feminine side. So she is sort of outsourcing, experiencing feminine energies from this man. Ta-da! Karmic relationship. The soul trying to find its balance. Does that make sense? Another example. Let's say another girl, another little cutie little baby child girl, all right? She's born into this family, and let's say her father abandons them for whatever reasons. Again, my channel is not about bashing men, okay? Right, so, but shit happens in life, all right? So let's say this little girl born into a family where the father has abandoned them and is just not present, has not shown up for her life. He has not protected her, provided for her, taken care of her education, taken care of her safety, taken care of her life in any shape or form, all right? And it's just her and her mother and maybe a couple of siblings, and they had to just huddle together to take care of each other. So, and let's say her father comes and visits them once a year, or sends them a letter or message once a year, or she receives a letter from him on her birthday wishing her a happy birthday once a year. All right, basically she hardly experiences a real loving, safe, secure, protective energies from her biological father. He just comes in and out very sporadically and just sends her a little gift during Christmas or New Year or her birthday. Okay, so this is how she has experienced her first primary masculine caregiver. So this little girl grows up in life, and she has this abandonment wound, and she might feel that she's innately flawed in some way. She might carry that guilt and shame in her psyche that something is wrong with her, something is bad with her, she's flawed in some way, and that is why the father was not present in her life, and that is why her father did not protect and provide and did not show up for her in her life. She might carry that belief system. So let's say as she grows up into a beautiful chica, a beautiful lady, she might, okay, so her soul has carried this belief system now that she's flawed, she's guilty, something is wrong with her, and that is why her dad was not in her life, okay? So she might attract and magnetize this karmic relationship in her life with a man who is just not present. Let's say physically, because he is obsessively, compulsively involved in his work and his business, and he travels all the time, and he's just not there. Mentally there, emotionally there in that marriage with her. Or it could be someone who comes in and out of her life for whatever reasons. Let's make it simpler. She attracts this guy who is very aloof and lean back and, you know, not present in her way, in the relationship in a real way. For instance, let's say they are dating and they go on this first date and she really likes this guy, and then after the first date he disappears. Okay, she sends him texts, she calls him, and he responds back after 2 hours, after 2 days, after 3 days. And her soul feels a resonance with that. And she has the psychological belief that she is at fault and she needs to find a way to get that love from that man. And she is at fault because if he's not showing love or care towards her, she is at fault, right? So she starts overworking for love. She starts overperforming for love. She starts overdoing for a man's attention. She starts chasing a man. She might mother him a lot. She might overwork she might pursue him. She might cry for his attention. She might play his therapist. She might do so many things, overwork, put all her attention and focus on that relationship, on that man, to the extent of losing her own life and losing her own sense of self and who she is and her own goals and dreams and pleasures. So she sacrifices herself for the guy to try and get his love, attention and validation, and does so many things for her to choose him. She might give him money, resources, a home to live with. She might be okay with him not marrying her. She might be okay with carrying his child without him fully committing to her and his child through marriage or through his resources or through his attention and or emotional protection, right? His covering as a husbandry coded high quality man would do to protect and provide and cherish the woman who he considers as his own, right? She has not experienced that in her childhood, so, and she in some way believes that she's not worth that. So she overworks, overdoes, mothers, chases the guy, initiates contact with the guy all the time, and tries to get any breadcrumb that she can get from him. So in this way, her soul has attracted this karmic relationship to find its balance again. It's trying to find its balance through attracting this relationship, where it unconsciously believes that if she can get that love from this avoidant, unavailable man, if she can get him to love her, to see her, to give her attention, to protect her, to provide for her, to just cherish her and adore her and love her, if she can just get that from this man, then she will heal that little child part of her that was never taken care of, the primary masculine caregiver, her biological dad. Does that make sense? Is this landing, ladies? So there are millions of ways this can play out, but the ultimate truth is a woman chooses into a karmic relationship to try and bring something that is off balance to balance. Women attract and choose into karmic relationships to heal an old wound, to heal trauma. So because of this innate nature of a karmic relationship, there is drama in the relationship. There's a lot of pain, there is a lot of hurt, there is a lot of difficulty. It is so hard. This kind of a relationship is so hard. As opposed to the natural soul essence, choosing into a certain relationship to get to experience its natural soul essence. It is not choosing from its shadow, it is choosing from its natural soul essence. This does not mean that this soul does not have its shadow, right? This soul has its aligned light space and its dark space and its shadow. This soul has its aligned light space and its shadow. However, this relationship is chosen from that shadow, and this relationship is chosen from its true natural aligned space. Are things landing, ladies? Let me know. Let me know if this is landing. Let me know if you relate. Share your stories with me. Okay, there is a certain level of release and healing and cognitive healing and understanding and layers that can be unpacked in your lives when you comment on content like this. Yes, it of course helps other women who reads your comment, but also there's a certain level of with online conversations, there's a certain level of comfort there, right? It's not very personal, so you can use my platform by commenting and letting us know. Share your stories. It will help you. Okay, ladies, truth pill. I've been in karmic relationships in my past, and I'm really thankful, and I give all credit to God, because if I were my true self, I think I might not have chosen my husband. I think it was God that literally dragged me by my hand and made me choose my husband, who is a dharmic relationship for my soul. Okay. For those of you who don't know, I truly consider the first 20 years of my life as my trauma season, and everything after that has only healed me and made me better. But my soul chose into the situation that I was born into to experience all of those things. No shame to whoever, my mom, dad, whoever were part of my childhood. But yes, so my soul has an innate ability to choose this. But thankfully, when you do a lot of inner work, healing work, and that is why I'm a huge proponent of that, when you take personal development very seriously and it's part of your day-to-day lifestyle, slowly but surely, you start vibrating from an aligned true essence space of your soul in your day-to-day life, that in time, even if this is your story, like it was for me, soon in time, you will slowly shift and make choices and decisions from a more aligned, higher self version of yourself. Okay? Right, so let's let's move on. I think things might have gotten a little bit more clearer. Let me know if it has. Give me a moment. Oh my gosh, ladies, yesterday my husband and I came back home at 3 a.m. in the morning, and I got to sleep at 4 a.m. in the morning. My husband, he's an athlete at heart, so we went to a friend's house to watch this cricket match. Yes, I'm Indian. Yes, we love cricket. So my city it was playing a game last night, so a bunch of us friends got together and to watch the match, and we lost. My city lost. That was such a shame, but then it was lovely getting together with a bunch of our friends. I mean, I've known them for 15, 20 years of my life, and we played a board game after the game, after the cricket match, and we played that game for 4 hours. So it was fun. I had the best time of my life. We drove back and we went to sleep late and woke up a little late. So don't judge me. This girl needs her coffee today. Right. That felt good. So let's move on, shall we? Right. If you have watched a few of my videos, you might be oriented with an illustration that I'm gonna draw right now. I love images. I think images speak 1,000 words, more than simple words can, and I love illustrations and learning through illustrations. Right? I'm a very visual creature. So this is a typical frequency drawing that I draw, and I call this the sticky flow, and I call this the glass ceiling. I think if personal development is part of your lifestyle, then I'm sure you know what I'm talking about when I say the glass ceiling. And there is the opposite polarity of it, which I call the sticky flow, and this is where each of us have our frequency. We have a sweet spot, and we have an upward spiral, which feels fabulously delicious. We are riding the wave of delight, joy, happiness, peace, calm, glory, success, abundance, luck. All right, so that is our upward spiral in our frequency. And of course, we have a downward spiral of dang, self-doubt, guilt, shame, pain, hurt. How could I do this? This is so hard. Hurts, woundings, trauma, mistakes, critical inner voice, harsh, difficult, traumatic outer experiences. All right, so this is our downward spiral. So this is our frequency. Okay, we have the upward spiral and the downward spiral, our glass ceiling, our sticky flow, and our sweet spot in between, our Zen space. Okay, our Zen space of peace, calm, where we see both the ends of the polarity, and we are aligned, calm, clear, connected with the divine. That is this spot. Right. So when we talk about a karmic relationship, okay, the karmic relationship mostly, when you're conscious about that relationship, okay, when you're truthful in your heart and your consciousness about this relationship, your soul would be vibrating in this part of your frequency most of the time. It's not that it doesn't reach the upward spiral, it does, but mostly if you are in touch with your own heart, your own soul, and your true consciousness, you would mostly be here. If you're in touch with your truth, the frequency of your relationship with your karmic partner will be here. It might have its highs, but most of the time it is here. A high, mostly here. A high, and mostly here. Okay? And the midpoint when it comes to a karmic relationship is mostly unconsciousness, dissociation, all right? A feeling of being lost, uncertain, unclear, indecisiveness. Okay? As opposed to the sweet spot when it comes to a dharmic relationship, which is peace. The sweet spot the sweet spot has a higher octave and a lower octave. Okay, I don't want to go deeper into these things. All these things will be shared and discussed and taught in my upcoming future courses. So do not forget to smash that like button and subscribe to my channel so you are informed and you're part of this growing world. You're part of my community. And of course, you know, my plan is to release my first course when we hit the 3-digit figure with my subscriptions. So help me do it, all right? You guys, you beauties, you ladies are part of my initial core group of people. So, of course, when I release, with God's grace, if and when I release my first course, that is our channel reaching 100 subscribers, which to me right now is like a dream. Okay, I don't know. I have my own, you know, doubts around all these things, but I'm just going to go with the flow. If it reaches that, if we get there as a community, you know, my initial subscribers will get a huge discount in my first courses, right? That is my promise to you. So yes, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and smash that like button. Okay, so yes, I don't want to get too deep into this, ladies, but basically the sweet spot for the karmic relationship is a state of dissociation, confusion, being lost, all right? Not being here, not being there, and being clueless and lost, you know, just confused, lost. As opposed to the sweet spot of the dharmic relationship, which is just peace, content, calm, glorious peace. Yes, so there is a pain, pleasure, repetitive compulsion when it comes to a karmic relationship. Because remember, ladies, our soul is trying to find its balance. Okay, and in that movement there is a pain, pleasure, drama cycle. It's an addictive pattern, all right? There is a compulsion to it. There is, of course, an excitement, a thrill to it, all right? At a soul level, again, like I said, there is no right or wrong, all right? There is no good or bad when it comes to human experiences of a karmic versus dharmic relationship in my books, all right? Your soul is wanting that crazy pain, pleasure. Oh my God, let's face it. I mean, if you go on a roller coaster ride, guys, isn't that freaking excitingly scary? It pumps up your hormones. It is so scary that you will scream your head out, and it's, imagine like you're on top of this roller coaster ride and you're like, boom, coming down, right? That's my worst moment, right? That's like crazy. Your heart pumping, your adrenaline rushing, you're like screaming with fear. And then when you reach a safe space of that roller coaster ride, you're like, ah. And some of us want to go on that ride again, and we want it to be more crazy. We want it to be more crazy. So there is a huge pain, pleasure cycle, all right? A repetitive, compulsive, addictive cycle to this kind of a relationship, because the soul is trying to find its balance from its imbalanced position. And this movement, right, from its calm, centered, holistic space versus the off, wounded, hurt, shadow, traumatized space That is the pain pleasure, right? That angle is what I call the pain pleasure cycle. Boomity, 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 boom. And mostly it's here. Mostly it is here. And when you reach the sweet spot, you're like lost, confused, dissociated. Woe be me, victimhood. Oh, poor me. Nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it. Give me one moment. So yes, the pain, pleasure, exciting, thrilling ride, and oh, what fun, what fun. What fun these roller coasters are. Until it's not fun anymore. Until the ride gets your head twirling, your body aching, and it hurts. It hurts so bad. The pain is unbearable. How long can you repeatedly go on this ride without feeling completely out of your body, out of yourself? I've been there, ladies. I've been there in those moments. Especially some of us who have very intense childhood trauma. I myself am a survivor of FSA, family scapegoat abuse, and I suffer from complex post-traumatic stress disorder. We have a tendency of repetition compulsion when it comes to certain things to be able to heal it, do the inner work around it. There is such wisdom in our souls that tries to bring some frequencies and some energies repeatedly up to our consciousness. And since we do not have the tools, since we do not have the healthy ways of self-regulation, self-soothing, and understanding and self-awareness around these things keep coming back until we learn that lesson, until we heal it, until we do the inner work, the spiritual work, until we figure the shit out of it, until we embody the lessons derived from it. So how long can you keep repeating something, be it with any type of coping mechanisms, right? It could be coping mechanisms through food, karmic relationships, sex, any other type of addictions with addictive substances, porn addiction, right? All of these things, ladies, are repetitive compulsions that is created by our soul to heal something that is a part of us that is hurting, which is wounded, and that's been shoved into the darkness, into our shadows. And it is a lot of fun until it isn't, until we come crumbling down. And the hurt is so much that we just can't take it anymore. And like me, some of us, I still remember the moment when I had this crazy repetitive trauma pattern that was being manifested in any relationship that I magnetized into my life as a single girl. And I came to a point where I just crashed. At that time, I had not started my inner work healing journey. So I crashed and I was like, God, I can't do this anymore. I just can't do this anymore. And that's when I stopped and went within. That's when I stopped. I decided not to look for my solutions and my healing from karmic relationships, but to turn the ship around and find my way back to my own heart and own soul. And in that way, find that healing and the integration and the alchemy that my soul was crying for. So this can be exciting. Oh, the chemistry. Oh, the heat of that guy, that relationship. It's crazy. That chemistry is out of the world. Oh my God, that connection. That connection that I feel with that guy, no other guy get like that connection. I feel his soul. I need that addiction, that compulsion. I need that fix, that connection. I need it. Chemistry, crazy. I'm not judging chemistry. Chemistry. Ladies, if you have a traumatic childhood, there is intense, crazy chemistry that you feel with the guy. Pause. Pause. Intense chemistry is a way your soul wants to attract that thing to he find its balance. Okay? So repetitive compulsion. Pain, pleasure cycle. Until you halt, stop. Stop looking at your partner for the healing that you need. Stop looking at a partner or a man outside of you for the love that you need, for the compassion, empathy, understanding that you need. Becoming your own best nurturing, unconditionally loving mother. Becoming your own best protective, safe, secure father. And healing yourself from there. And slowly finding your way to a dharmic relationship, or need not. You can just stay in there and enjoy the ride. Okay, there is no right or wrong here, ladies, by the way, and no judgments as well. For me personally, I I kept repeating this, I kept attracting this, but I did not want this. I wanted to create something better. So for me, the journey has been different. It need not be for you. Okay, you can use this cognitive understanding of such concepts in your own way that you see fit for your own soul's journey. Okay, all I want you to know that there is a huge up and down, crazy ride experience that you will go through in such relationships. I personally know of marriages where there's physical abuse, there is verbal abuse, it's so freaking traumatic, all right? But then of course I'm not going to mention names, someone that I know not very closely, of course, she was admitted in the hospital because her husband beat her up. So it's like freaking physical abuse. But then she went back to her husband and to her marriage, and it's just going on. There's no judgments, there is no right or wrong, there is nothing here in the game of the soul, by the way. Okay, in the game of the world, of course, there's right and wrong, good or bad, la-di-da-di-da, but we're talking the game of the soul here. And this is the typical experience that the soul goes through when it chooses into such relationships. I'm going to give you another example. Imagine, there's this wild water rafting river, right? Which has the edges of the river is not smooth. There's so many rocks and boulders. The river bed has ups and downs, undulations, and the water that has to flow through that container of that river with boulders and all of those things, right? It is very rough. The flow of the water is very, very rough. That would be the experience of the water flowing through such a river edge container, right? Turbulence, rapids, waterfalls, ups and downs, crazy stuff. It has to maneuver itself through a small area, through a wide area, through this rock, through that rock. And the experience of the water is wild. It is a wild, wild ride. Is it safe? No, of course not. It is safe. But then there are people who love, who are addicted, who are attracted to wild water rafting, aren't there? All right? It is, and then majority of the people just for the thrill of the ride might try it once or twice. But there are people who take it on as a sport. There's no right or wrong here, ladies. But that is what this relationship is all about. It's a rough-edged, wild water rafting kind of a relationship, as opposed to a dharmic relationship where the frequencies are mostly the sweet spot of peace, calm, serenity, chill, relaxed, zen, vibe energies, and towards a very natural, upward mobile, upward spiraling frequencies of delight, joy, pleasures, fun, caring, connection, of course some passion now and then intensities, and then but like the higher octave of all of that, success, abundance, goals being reached. And I'm not saying there won't be any see, your soul might go through something like this, but your relationship would pretty much be here. Most of the time your relationship does not go here, okay, to this part of it. So most of the frequency of a karmic relationship stays in the upward spiral, and when it comes down, 99% of the time it stays here. It never really goes there. It never really goes to the sticky flow, to the zero space. Okay? So that is the frequency of a dharmic relationship. And a metaphor would be a riverbed, which is smooth, which is, inclination is not crazy. Inclination is very smooth, so the water flowing through it seamlessly runs into the ocean. The riverbeds are calm, okay, lined by flowers and meadows and lawns and beautiful trees shading the river. So the flow of the water in the river is seamless, smooth, peaceful, and it just frolics down the river and goes into the ocean. All right, there is nothing wrong, all right, between a wild water river flowing into the ocean and a serene, peaceful, calm river flowing into the ocean. In the end, both the rivers flow into the ocean, ladies. However, there is a preference. There is a preference. Okay. Can you live life this way? You can. Why not? Why not? However, it's a hard life. Okay. It is a hard life. Can you achieve things choosing a relationship like this? Yes, you can. All right. However, your story would be this. Your story of you achieving stuff would be, in spite of that, I achieved this. In spite of this harsh marriage, in spite of my husband, in spite of my relationship, I did this. So that would be your heroine's journey of your soul. Okay? I hope I'm clear with this. So your story, your soul's story in this would be pretty much, either you give up after a certain stage because you can't keep riding the wild waters of that kind of a river, or go through that pain, pleasure circle all your life. Trust me, especially the older you grow. It's fun. It's fun in your 20s. It can get a little bit of a drag and crazy, I gotta fix this shit, in your 30s. And when you reach your 40s, I'm 46, ladies, so take it from me, a crazy karmic relationship loses its glitz and glamour and its fun and its glory and its excitement in your 40s and beyond. Trust me on this. Okay, so if at all you want to experience something like this, keep it to your 20s. Okay, maximum your early 30s. I think by the time you're in your 30s and beyond, and if you are a highly conscious soul, then 20s and onwards as well. And if you're a lucky girl, you never need to experience stuff like this, and you can get your fix. We souls need our fun and drama and excitement. You can get your fun and drama and up and down cycles from other things in life, from TV, from television, from seeing other people riding crazy rivers, wild water rafters. All right, you can get it through fashion, through makeup, through the books you read, through your travel experiences, through the ups and downs of creating a successful creative endeavor, right? So you can get your fix through other things in life. if you're a lucky soul, you never have to experience this kind of a relationship. This is again in my books, all right? But really, end of the day, nothing wrong with it. It's fun. It's fun, ladies. Yes. So your storyline, the soul storyline, would be something in the frequency of, in spite of this, I accomplished this, I did this. Okay, it's a heroine's journey in a way, where the heroine faces all types of difficulties, harsh realities, and in spite of all that, victoriously as a warrior, creates something good in life. So your story would be that in spite of story. In your astrological chart, if you have very, very intense, heavy warrior planetary influences. What do I mean by warrior? I'm talking Mars energies, which is Aries or Scorpio. Okay, you might be attracted to something like this. I have heavy Plutonic Pluto. So Mars influences, Pluto influences. Yes, Chiron, the wounded healer, influences. So your soul wanting to heal its trauma, its woundings. So Chiron, and sorry, I'm going on a digress. This is for those of you who like astrology and understand the language of astrology, because to me, astrology is a language. All right. So when I mean Martian, Scorpio, Plutonic, Chiron, those of you who know what I'm talking about, it's literally its own language. This is literally its own vocabulary. Okay. So if you're not into astrology, just bear with me for a minute. So we're talking Plutonic influences, heavy Plutonic influences, heavy Mars, the Lord of War influences, heavy Chiron influences in your chart, heavy Lilith could be, all right, if Lilith mixed with all of these things. So the intensity of all of these planetary influences, if it's very, very strong in your birth chart, or in your composite chart. Composite chart is a chart of your marriage, all right, with your husband. So if any of these planets or these vibrations play a huge role in your composite chart or in your natal chart, then your soul has come to experience these things, all right? So welcome to my old life. However, ladies, my journey, yes, like I said, my first 20 years of my life was an in spite of journey, and I kept finding myself in these kind of relationships. In fact, my first marriage was a quintessential karmic relationship, and but I kept doing the work because I knew somewhere that I did not want this. I wanted something different, all right? My soul was craving to heal itself and figure out love, okay? And experience healthy, peaceful, joyful, content relationship, a dharmic relationship, right? And thankfully, because of all the inner work and healing work that I did, and my deep desire to experience a dharmic relationship by hook or by crook, okay, one way or the other, with God's grace and blessings, I chose, my husband came into my life, and I chose him. Like I said, not because of my own self, but my higher self. And God helped me choose my husband, and thanks to that, but I followed it. I followed the messages that I received from my higher self and God, and I find myself today in a dharmic relationship, all right? And the story of a dharmic relationship would be because of, okay? Not in spite of my marriage, in spite of my husband, in spite of my relationship, I've done this, I've accomplished this. It's not that kind of a heroine's journey. This journey is because of my relationship, because of my husband, because of my marriage. I have been able to accomplish this, I have been able to succeed, I have been able to create this, I have been able to heal this, I have been able to experience this. All right, so the storyline would be because of, when it comes to a dharmic relationship, and the storyline would be in spite of when it comes to a karmic relationship. So with this, we will end this video. Just taking a look at my notes to see if I've missed out on something here, ladies. Give me a moment. All right. Shadows, all right? For some of you who are into a feminine spirituality, who are into self-development, who are into consciously evolving your soul and ascension and all of those things, if you have a question, oh Princey, if I choose into a dharmic relationship, does that mean I do not face my shadow, that I can't do my inner work and healing work, that I can't ascend and all of those things? No, it's a little different. In a karmic relationship, your relationship will force you to do the inner work and the healing journey for ascension and evolution, in spite of kind of storyline. In a dharmic relationship, because of the protection, provision, structure, safety, security, and that peaceful container that your relationship naturally provides for you, you can actively do your inner work, healing work, ascension work, growth work, and all of those things. Your relationship will not trigger you to do those work. Your relationship will not be the reason for you to do the healing work, inner work, trauma work, wounding work. No. Okay. However, your relationship will form the safe container for you. It will support you to do the work. Okay, it's not, I don't think I'm communicating this correctly, but I hope you get what I'm saying. A karmic relationship will be the reason for you to do the inner work. And in a dharmic relationship will support you to do the inner work. And then it's your choice. Of course, in either cases, it's always your choice. God has given us free will to do inner work or not, all right? But if you're attracted to my channel, if you like my work, what do we believe in, ladies? What is our one of our life's discipline, one of our lifestyles, one of our deep core belief systems? What is it? My chicas, my grail queens, one of our core principles of life is constant and never-ending evolution and ascension, okay? Which means personal development has got to be a part of our active day-to-day lifestyle in some form or the other, ladies. Personal development, not from the space of something is wrong with me, something is bad with me, I am innately flawed, so I have to develop myself. No, it's from the space of I'm perfectly imperfect, I'm worthy, I'm glorious, my worth is a given, I'm great, and I'm going to constantly be involved in personal development and ascension and evolution of the soul. All right, so that's what we are about, that's what my work is about. Let me know if you like this content, let me know if it landed, let me know if you resonate, let me know, share your stories with me, ladies. And before I say goodbye, if you like my vibe, if you like this content, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Support my work by subscribing to my channel and asking your friends and relatives to be part of this world as well. I hope you found it fun. I hope you found this content of value. I had fun creating this for you, ladies. I had fun showing up for you. I have fun doing this, all right? Thank you. I love you. I hope you are living your best lives. Bye, ladies.